Rekao sam da tražim da nama postavi platno.
Dobar dan. Dobar dan. Da li se čujemo? Ne može. Počinjemo polako. Samo da vidimo sa ozvučenjem. Dobar dan, počinjemo u stilu one dobre pozdravite naše srpske rečenice, samo obućari nose šuplje cipele, dakle, logično je da nešto od telekomunikacija ne radi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the TELFOR conference to be held for the 32nd time. This year, TELFOR is being held, organized together with Friendly International Conference Specom. Also, in addition, as a separate event, we have another international conference, IEEE CSCN, which is held in Sava Center, just a few steps away. In this way, we believe we made a true celebration of telecommunications in these days. A lot of people from a lot of different countries in the world. In addition, a lot of our people who are present today with us. Before we begin, I will make the usual introductory remarks. As you know, we are working bilingually. The headsets for translation are provided. The only Serbian translation is provided in the room. Also, I am very sure that we are all big fans of mobile communications, but I will ask you to mute your phones, or even better to switch it off. You know, it's terrible for us, but it's much easier to work that way. I will move to Serbian language now. Poštovane dame I gospodo, poštovani državni sekretare u Ministarstvu telekomunikacije I informisanja, poštovana predsjednice, buduća predsjednica IEEE organizacije Regiona 8 koja pokriva 40% naše planete, dragi direktori, profesori, inženjeri, dragi kolege, želim da vam u ime programskog I organizacionog odbora poželim toplu dobrodošlicu na ovaj naš TELFOR. Također bih htio da pozdravim I studente, kojih nije malo danas u sali. To su budući ministri, direktori, predvodnici naših telekomunikacija I ja bih ohrabrio da oni samo nastave hrabro u tom pravcu I da razvijaju naše telekomunikacije I vidjet ćemo ne samo telekomunikaciju, nego naš život uopšte. TELFOR je, kao što znate, svih ovih godina bio nosilac praktično I promoter telekomunikacije na ovim našim prostorima I ne samo našim prostorima, nego I u regionu. Mi smo ispratili kompletan napredak. Ono što danas ne možemo ni da zamislimo, to je da ni veliki Cezar, ni Avgust, ni Petar Veliki, ni Napoleon nisu imali mobilni telefon, pa se mi zapitamo kako su oni uopšte živeli u to doba. S naše pozicije to izgleda strašno. Ali mi smo navikli da menjamo stvari. Tako je I sadašnjem trenutku. Mi se spremamo za novu revoluciju, kao što znate, 5G, 6G I budući G-ovi nam u stvari donose revoluciju ne samo u telekomunikacionom segmentu, nego I u našim životima. Ono što na ovom mestu moramo da primetimo, iako smo mi svi iz telekomunikacionog domena, a to je da nam se nekako čini da smo mi sa našim tehnologijama napravili korak ispred drugih, jer smo mi kroz naše sisteme, kroz naše dobro organizovane, mogu slovo da kažem, i operatori, industriju, pa i državu, mi u stvari napravili podloge za čitav niz novih servisa. I ono što nam nedostaje, to je privreda koju mi moramo da poguramo, da počne da koristi te servise, mi moramo da ih naučimo da koriste te servise, jer će oni sigurno doživjeti jednu veliku transformaciju u budućnosti. Spomenut ću samo neke, dakle, tu imamo automobilsku industriju, avioindustriju, zdravstvo, proizvodne fabrike i tako dalje, i tako dalje. Dakle, u nekim budućim vremenima mi ćemo imati jednu važnu ulogu u opsluživanju svih tih kompanija. Ono što je tu važno da primetimo, iako smo to možda i nekad naglašavali, ali moramo opet, ovo je jedan važan istorijski trenutak, zato što u ovom globalno monopolizovanom svetu one države i ona društva koja brže prihvate tehnologiju i koja orijentišu svoje privredne tokove da budu efikasnija, da brže proizvode robu i usluge, ona će imati šansu da napreduju i da budu predvodnici i da u krajnjoj liniji, zašto ne reći, da lepše žive. I zato je jedna velika opasnost ako, pored telekomunikacijne industrije i druga privreda ne isprati ove tokove, tu stoji jedan veliki mač opasnosti da će doći do zaostajanja. Jednostavno je to i videti, jer ako niste efikasniji u privredi, vrlo je jasno da će sva roba koju proizvodite da bude skuplja, a onda nećete moći da je prodate nigde na svijetu i to samo po sebi pravi problem. Što se tiče ovogodišnjeg TELFOR-a, u organizaciji, kao što znate, ovo je relativno veliki događaj, tu puno ljudi zaista učestvuje, puno ima pojedinačnih segmenata da bi mi u samo ova 2 dana mogli da sprovedemo veliki broj aktivnosti. Neki su se tu malo više istakli, pa oni čine danas radno predsjedništvo i ja ću ih ovde predstaviti. Prvo, sa moje leve strane je docent dr. Mladen Koprivica, predsjednik organizacionog odbora, koleginica profesorka Jelena Ćertić, potpredsjednica programskog odbora, kolega profesor Vlado Delić, kao predsjednik programskog odbora konferencije Specom, naše prijateljske konferencije sa kojom se dopunjujemo, i naravno ja sam Aleksandar Nešković, mene već sigurno dobro znate. Danas u sklopu ove ceremonije otvaranja prvi će nam se obratiti državni sekretar, gospodin Milan Dobrijević. Ja moram da se izvinim u ime ministra koji je imao, dakle, zaista veliku želju i dogovor je bio da on danas prisustvuje ovoj ceremoniji. Međutim, iznenadne obaveze inicirane od strane samog vrha države su ga odvojili da on ne bude danas sa nama, ali bez obzira on je pozdravio ovaj naš skup na najlepši mogući način. A ja ću sad gospodinu Milanu Dobrijeviću dati reč. Izvolite.
Hvala, profesore. Poštovani organizatori, učesnici, uvaženi panelisti, drage kolege i koleginice, velika je čast biti ovde danas i pre svega u ime ministra informisanja i telekomunikacija preneti i pozdrave, ali i punu podršku resornog ministarstva za rad dalje TELFOR-a, koji je sa 32. instancom praktično institucija u oblasti, čini mi se, sa najvećom istorijom institucija ovog tipa. Definitivno taj spoj nauke, akademije i privrede na ovim skupovima je nešto što jeste driver i pokretač daljeg rasta i razvoja naše industrije, i u tom smislu mi ćemo nastaviti da podržavamo ovaj skup na svaki mogući način i druge slične inicijative. Sad, pošto ja sam manje političara, mnogo više konkretan čovek i svi u sali koji me znaju kako i radim i funkcionišem, ja ću tako održati uvodni govor i reći vam nekoliko konkretnih najaktuelnijih stvari i pustiti onda dalje vas koji više znate od mene da pričate dalje o tehničkim temama i svim ostalim stvarima. Što se tiče tržišta telekomunikacija, profesor je dao uvod i dobar šlagvort, mi u ministarstvu i u vladi zaista jesmo jako zadovoljni i dinamičnošću i konkurentnošću tržišta telekomunikacija u Srbiji. 4G pokrivanje na 99% domaćinstava, to je nešto čime se činjenično hvalimo kolegama iz Evropske unije i objašnjavamo dokle smo stigli, jer ponekad pokušavaju da nas savjetuju kako treba raditi, ovo je nesumnjivo bolji rezultat od drugih. Kada kažemo šta sa crnom rupom od 5G-a, ne smatramo da je to neki kritičan problem ni za našu privredu, ni za naše građane u ovom trenutku. 5G je na raspolaganju našim istraživačima u sva 4 naučno-tehnološka parka, a nudili smo i nismo za sada dobili zahteve za privremene dozvole koje bi se koristile za istraživanje i razvoj i o tome ću reći nešto malo kasnije u zaključku ovog govora. Znači, što se tiče 5G, aukcija je praktično krenula javnim konsultacijama, javnom raspravom za pravilnik o minimalnim uslovima. Primili smo vrlo obimne materijale od svih zainteresovanih tržišnih učesnika u kojima je argumentacija prilično suprotstavljena. Ono što obećavamo je da ćemo uraditi veoma pažljivu analizu toga što smo dobili sa svih strana i doneti mudru odluku kako bi zadržali tržište telekomunikacija na ovom nivou kvaliteta kakav je sada. Dalje, što se tiče fiksnih mreža, takođe moramo reći i zahvaliti se Telekomu Srbija pre svega za enormne investicije u prethodnih 7-8 godina. Neću govoriti o iznosu novca, ali govorit ću o tome da je više od 1.000.000 domaćinstava pokriveno home fast fiberom, što dovodi Srbiju u grupu zemalja koji imaju jedan od najviših procenata i najbrže rastući procenat pokrivanja stanovništva very high capacity mrežama, što je sledeći cilj. I naš cilj vlade, zajedno sa vama operatorima, će biti da u narednih 2 do 3 godine, do kraja 2027. dostignemo 90% pokrivanja domaćinstava sa very high capacity mrežama, što je takođe ambiciozniji od nekih zemalja članica EU. To ćemo uraditi tako što ćemo sa strane države pokriti rural. U toku je projekat kroz koji investiramo više od 150 miliona eura u približno 5500 kilometara optičke infrastrukture i to samo i isključivo na teritorijama gde ne postoji ekonomski interes za investiciju, tako praktično punimo prazninu. Ovde ovo je stručni skup i svi vi ćete razumeti da ta optika koja dolazi do ruralnih naselja, razumećete šta ona znači za buduću 5G mrežu, jer će te bazne stanice imati optički feed, što bi rekli, i to je sasvim druga dimenzija 5G usluge u tim ruralnim predelima u odnosu na ono kada te bazne stanice dolazi neki microwave ili nešto drugo, jer ne postoji optika. Takođe, ono što vidimo na tržištu je da i druga dva mobilna operatora u ovom trenutku, i Etel i A1, ulaze u fiksnu i to možemo samo da pozdravimo, jer ta vrsta konkurencije će biti samo na kraju na opštu korist i građana i privrede, tu nema nikakve dileme. Što se tiče daljih mišljenja našeg o tome šta dalje treba da se događa u sferi telekomunikacija, mislimo da operatori trebaju posebno obratiti pažnju na širenje spektra usluga i na iskorišćenje te mase korisnika koje se meri u milionima, jer njima se može ponuditi još mnogo toga. Vidimo da svi operatori praktično to i rade i to samo možemo da pozdravimo i da podstaknemo dalje, ako na bilo koji način možemo da se i dalje još više širi ta baza usluga i servisa, a u budućnosti da uključi i primene 5G-a u industriji, u poljoprivredi, u medicini itd. Potencijal je veliki i na tome bi imali najveći fokus. Što se tiče legislative, ono što jeste naš posao, mogu da obećam da ćemo nastaviti da se ponašamo odgovorno i da ne donosimo propise na način što bi prepisivali tekst evropskih propisa, nego naprotiv mudro ih prenosili u naše zakonodavstvo, istovremeno ispunjavajući obaveze koje Srbija ima u procesu pridruživanja Evropskoj uniji, ali i ostavljajući prostor za ubrzani razvoj i telekomunikacijne industrije, ali i svih drugih. Kad to kažem, pre svega mislim, bit ćemo jako pažljivi da ne ubacujemo u propise preograničavajuće ili odredbe koje bi donosile prevelike troškove spram koristi koje donose privredi, i sa druge strane da pokušamo da ubacimo i neke enabling mere gde razmišljamo i o nekom programu kreditiranja razvoja srpskih proizvoda ili usluga u IKT industriji. Tako nešto ćemo pilotirati tokom 2025. godine u saradnji sa naučno-tehnološkim parkovima, naučnom zajednicom, ali i sa privredom koja se bavi tim delom poslom. Želim vam uspešnu konferenciju, jedva čekam da vidim šta se govori, šta će se govoriti na panelima. Hvala vam.
Gospodine Dobrijeviću, puno vam hvala na stavovima koje ste naprenuli ispred ministarstva. Sa druge strane, RATEL je naša krovna agencija i ja bih sad zamolio gospodina Dragana Kovačevića da nam podeli stavove RATEL-a, planove, urađene aktivnosti. Izvolite.
Hvala, predsjedavajući, zahvaljujem se. Poštovane koleginice i kolege, dragi prijatelji, pozdravljam vas, naravno, jer meni je uvek čast da se ovde pojavim u ovako odabranom društvu i evo, kao neko ko je, koliko je godina, 30 i toliko?
32.
Dakle, od prvog TELFOR-a ovde prisutan, stvarno, uvek je bilo zanimljivo, verujte. Dakle, što se tiče Republičke agencije za elektronske komunikacije i poštanske usluge, mi naravno vodimo svoje svakodnevne aktivnosti u pravcu poboljšanja tržišnih uslova za nastupanje svih operatora na tržištu, da bude ravnopravno, da poboljšavaju sve servise na dobrobit njihovih korisnika, odnosno građana. Jedna ilustracija da se to dobro radi je i činjenica da je na tržištu telekomunikacije u prethodne godine ostvaren prihod od 270 milijardi dinara, što je 10% rasta u odnosu na prethodnu godinu. 10% rasta je značajna stopa. Što se RATEL-a tiče, najveća aktivnost koju smo imali u prethodnom periodu kao rezultat donošenja novog zakona o telekomunikacijama je bila da smo izradili 50 podzakonskih akata, dakle, vrlo obiman posao koji je uspešno završen. Što se međunarodnih aktivnosti tiče, samo ću njih malo izdvojiti. Učestvovali smo zajedno sa drugim regulatorima na poziv francuskog regulatora kao njihova podrška u toku olimpijskih i paraolimpijskih igara, gde su naši stručnjaci pomagali na kontroli, održavanju spektra i tako dalje, i to smo uspešno obavili, na čemu smo dobili zahvalnost francuskog operatora. Još jednu stvar želim da pohvalno da iznesem, koja se ne odnosi samo na RATEL, ali RATEL kao neko u kome se nalazi nacionalni CERT, dakle, organ koji brine o informacionoj bezbednosti, a mnogi od vas učestvuju u toj informacionoj bezbednosti. Želim samo da kažem da je Republika Srbija od strane međunarodnih CERT-ova, odnosno Međunarodne unije za telekomunikacije, dobili smo podatak da se nalazimo sa 96,82 boda u samom vrhu nacionalne bezbednosti sveta, a da smo najbolji u jugoistočnoj Evropi. Ja verujem da će ovde biti velika dinamika nakon ovog otvaranja, ali moram da kažem da što se RATEL-a tiče, nas očekuje velika dinamika na 5G. Čuli ste državnog sekretara, ministarstvo je sačinilo predlog pravilnika o minimalnim uslovima, on je bio na javnoj raspravi i svi vi koji ste u tom znate o čemu se radi, očekujemo da će to uskoro biti usvojeno, a onda stvar prelazi u operativno u ruke RATEL-a, dakle, sprovođenje aukcije, sva dinamika, čeka nas puno posla i bit će jako zanimljivo. A verujem da će biti zanimljivo i ovde na konferenciji. Ja vam želim puno uspeha u radu. Hvala.
Puno vam hvala. Nije neka velika tajna, ali 3 nacionalna operatora, 3 nacionalna mobilna operatora su glavni nosioci TELFOR-a svih ovih godina i mi smo im zaista zahvalni na tome. Iz godine u godinu, od prvog Telfora do dan danas, najviše rukovodstvo je uvek na ovom danu zajedno sa nama, da nas pozdravi, da nas ohrabri i da nas na neki način inspiriše za nove uspehe. Danas su tu predstavnici, naravno, sva tri operatora zajedno s nama. Prva će nam se obratiti, I will translate to English, I will call the A1. A1 is the company who supported TELFOR even before the company was established. It's interesting, from the very beginning. It's really, really true, and we are very grateful for that. Now with us is the general manager of A1, Judith Alberts, and I will call Judith to address the audience. Please take the floor.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Respected organizers, dear professors, dear students, dear colleagues and guests. Čast mi je da vam se obratim na otvaranju konferencije TELFOR. Moja prva od kada sam CEO A1 Serbia. It's actually also an honor to be first among the CEOs of the operators. Sometimes it's great to be a lady CEO. So during my first months in Serbia, I've been really impressed by the quality and energy and expertise which define the telco industry. TELFOR is a key event that brings together all these brightest minds in the industry, and I'm super excited to be with you here today and to share a few words about our vision and plans about the future. So let me start with what we do the best as A1. We are building networks which connect and empower people and companies throughout the country. We are super proud that A1 Serbia is becoming a convergent operator. We just heard from the State Secretary the ambitious targets of the digitalization in this country. So we will be an active part of this. Over the past year, we have started to extend significantly our fiber infrastructure. We made some acquisitions, and we are also building our own fiber optics to deliver high-speed, reliable connectivity and offer fixed services to homes and businesses across Serbia. Convergence is not just a new approach for us, it's a transformation how we service our customers. We are combining mobile and fixed services, add our digital offering, high-quality content, like famous streaming solutions like Netflix or Sky Showtime. And so we create a seamless ecosystem for our customers, a unified experience with high speed, reliability, and flexibility. We are also super excited to roll out 5G, to have the chance, and invest into the country's network. The true transformational experience and potential of 5G will come with the use cases it carries. So for the household, it will be an unprecedented user experience with super high speeds, so be it in gaming or augmented reality. For businesses, they have the opportunity to leapfrog to high-speed and 5G private networks, which offer low latency and high throughput solutions. We at A1 do have international experience and vast experience in all these private networks throughout many, many industries. So we will be super eager to support Serbian companies and Serbia during the outstanding events like Expo 2027, be it cutting-edge hospitality services or just immersive experiences for the customers. We also heard about broadening the spectrum of services of telcos. We are actually very active around it. The world is changing rapidly. People need swift solutions. That's why we at A1 continue to introduce innovative services that redefine what actually a telco can offer. A great example is our smart travel insurance, which is a fully fledged digital solution, very easy. Once you opt in, it covers you when you cross the country borders, and it deactivates when you come back home. So it's hassle-free, it's digital, it's easy and affordable, and that's why it has already traveled over 150 countries throughout our users. So it's a perfect example on how connectivity can simplify life while adding also real value to our customers. For businesses, we have created enhanced tariff plans. These are all-in-one solutions to enhance their life. This is core tariffs, core telco tariffs with ICT services. The tariff plans are tailored to the needs of the companies. It's a one-stop shop, cost-effective solution for companies, be it for their employees in transport, in sales, administration, organization, or management. Throughout all the years, we are very committed to enhance customer experience, and we focus on end-to-end service availability rather just on network performance. As you know, A1 is the fastest network measured by Ookla for 4 years in a row now. Tomorrow, my colleagues from technology will present you a unique approach, how we improve service quality from the customer's perspective. So if you have time, please feel free to join these sessions. Let me say lastly a few words about ESG. We at A1 are totally committed and dedicated to use technology for the greater good. So we were the first one in the country to install hybrid base stations powered by solar panel and wind energy. And by today we have over 6,000 solar panels servicing our network. But we do not stop here. We are very active on social responsibility. We just launched recently our service and online educational platform, which is Boli Online, which is actually a toolkit for safer, more responsible online experience. It helps teachers, it helps kids, it helps teenagers, their parents to navigate safer in the internet. So with Boli Online, we create and we start meaningful impact beyond connectivity again. So just to close, I'm super proud to be head of A1 Serbia during these very transformative times. And I very much look forward to exchange with many of you during TELFOR. I think together we can power and shape the future of Serbia. Thank you for welcoming me here and looking forward to an inspiring conference.
Isabris, thank you. Thank you very much. Telekom, svi znamo, Telekom on je od prvog dana TELFOR-a na neki način i osnivač ove konferencije. Ja bih sad zamolio generalnog direktora Vladu Lučića da se obrati skupu.
Poštovani državni sekretar, poštovani profesore Neškoviću, velika mi je čast što sam danas ovdje, pogotovo što više decenija pratim TELFOR i prvu prezentaciju sam imao, znači se 1997. godine kad sam bio mlad pripravnik u Telekomu Srbije. I TELFOR nekako uspeo je da zadrži tu energiju i da prikupi dalje našu struku nekoliko dana da se diskutuje o glavnim trendovima, a telekomunikacije su jedna od najbržih biznisa i oni se menjaju, a sada telekomunikacije ulaze u tu, moram kažem, velike promjene. I meni je veoma drago što je Telekom Srbija smogao snage da osim razvoja optičke mreže i jake 4G mreže zadnjih nekoliko godina, čime smo pogotovo s optičkom mrežom postavili Srbiju u sam evropski vrh po broju domaćinstva koji smo prošli optiku, imali smo snage da krenemo u transformaciju koja je preko potrebna kako bi telekomunikacioni operateri nekako ostali u igri. Jer sve veći je pritisak na sam prihod od klasičnih telekomunikacijnih usluga i telekomunikacijni operateri da bi uopšte opstali moraju da pronalaze nove izvore prihoda koji uopšte nije jednostavno naći jer mnogo je kompleksniji način na koji smo mi navikli da pustimo neki servis kao što je SMS i onda odjednom imamo milione evra prihoda svaki mjesec od toga. Telekom Srbija je uradio jednu stvar u svom strateškom delovanju koja je, moram kažem, novi šahovski potez u telekomunikacionoj industriji, a koji je u stvari strategija digitalnih platformi. A stvarno smo prvi telekom operator koji je to uradio. Obično telekom, veliki telekom operateri kada krenu da se šire i kad rade ekspanziju u druge zemlje, oni ili akviziraju klasičnog nekog telekom operatera ili izgrade novog. izgrade svoju infrastrukturu i onda tom infrastrukturom probaju da dođu do korisnika, a mi smo napravili strategiju da infrastrukturu razvijamo samo u zemljama gde smo originalno ih imamo već 2 decenije, to je Srbija, Bosna i Hercegovina, Crna Gora, da u drugim zemljama da se širimo, idemo servisno kao digitalne platforme, kao virtualni operator koristeći infrastrukturu drugih operatera, kao OTT televizijski igrač koristeći situaciju da im imamo, da smo i medijski najveća kuća u ovom delu, ajde kažem, Balkana i da smo faktički prisutni 4 miliona domaćinstava bivše Jugoslavije sa našim pre svega sportskim kanalima i drugim kanalima. Ili smo kao u Hrvatskoj i Sloveniji samo prisutni kao mediji. Kada bi gledam finansijske rezultate Telekoma Srbije u prvoj polovini ovih 2024. godine, i to mi je u stvari najveći utisak naše poslovanja ove godine, prihodi od zemalja gde mi nemamo našu infrastrukturu, gde smo išli servisno, došli su do 8% prihoda i vrlo brzo rastu. Tako da će za 4 godine prihod, a možda i za 3 godine prihod od zemalja gde nemamo infrastrukturu na nivou grupe praviti veći prihod nego Bosna i Hercegovina i Crna Gora zajedno. A sa značajnije manjim, kako ih rekao, ulaznim investicijama, zato što mi tu koristimo ono što smo kao grupa ovde napravili i faktički koristeći da imamo jedan servis, a to je ponuda televizijskih kanala za koji su zainteresovani ljudi u dijaspori. Koristimo taj servis kako bi onda izgradili i taj telekomunikacijni servis, a ponavljam, ne gradeći sopstvenu infrastrukturu, nego koristeći drugu infrastrukturu. Time ćemo biti u mogućnosti da dupliramo faktički broj korisnika, pre svega televizijskih usluga, ali mobilnih, i proširili smo se u zemlje da je značajno veći prihod po korisniku u Nemačkoj, Švajcarskoj i Austriji, a od sredine 2025. godine ćemo pustiti mobilnu telefoniju u Americi, pustili smo već televiziju. Što se tiče same Srbije, tu smo uspeli u zadnjih 4 godine da se fokusiramo na izgradnju optičke mreže i 4G mreže i moram da kažem da je Srbija jedna od retkih zemalja ove veličine koja ima tako dobru kvalitetnu mrežu sva 3 mobilna operatera, što može lako da se, ajde kažem, proveri, a to je dosta bitno poslije u razvoju 5G-a, tako da je razvoj te optičke infrastrukture Telekoma Srbije, koju je Telekom Srbija bio spreman da ponudi konkurenciji, što mislim da je dosta bitno u razvoju, ajde kažem, digitalne Srbije, i razvojem faktički odličnim kvalitetom sve 3 4G mreže, stvara se stvarno odličan preduslov i da 5G mreža se brzo razvije sa odličnim kvalitetom, što će opet omogućiti industriji da iskoristi 5G mrežu i da proba da napreduje u svom poslovanju. Bilo koja industrijska grana koja ne bude u pravom trenutku analizirala šta donosi 5G mreža i veštačka inteligencija, jednostavno ima opasnost da nestane u budućnosti. Tako da jeste to sad na samom početku, jeste da veštačka inteligencija ima velike izazove sad na početka, od čak same količine struje koje treba postojećim procesorima, ali naravno da će se procesori unapređivati, pa neće sad trebati tolika količina struje, ali je definitivno 5G i veštačka inteligencija će biti osnov razvoja koji će potpuno promeniti poslovanje skoro svih industrijskih grana. Nama je drago što smo mi kod Telekom, ćemo biti neka osnova tog razvoja, što ćemo na našem faktički, pre svega najveći delom našoj optičkoj infrastrukturi biti, tako da kažem, biti osnova čitave te infrastrukturne, ajde kažem, digitalne Srbije na kojoj će svi drugi koristiti servise. Ono što jeste bilo manjak, nedostatak Telekoma Srbije, gde je jedan veliki prostor za razvoj i za uzimanje prihoda, jeste ICT prihodi. Oni su 2023. godine bili 550 miliona evra na nivou Srbije, Telekom Srbija je samo 2% tog prihoda. Tako da će Telekom Srbija od sledeće godine značajno ući u to tržište, pre svega kroz cyber security, kroz taj segment, i probat ćemo prvo cyber security da budemo glavna, tako kažem, glavni ponuđač ne samo u Srbiji nego u čitavom regionu, a onda kroz to da proširimo i na druge ICT usluge kako bi u tom segmentu, ajde da kažem na kraju priče, bili broj 1, jer ako ste primetili Telekom Srbija gde god da tako da kažem uđe, pa makar to bio, pa makar smo negdje novi kao multimedija, na kraju budemo broj 1. Zahvalio bi se još jednom organizatorima, zahvalio bi svima vam što ste došli i ove godine što je brojniji TELFOR nego prošle godine. Želim vam sve najlepše ove godine, vidimo sljedeće godine.
Da li radi, ne radi ovo?
Jetel je, interesantno za Jetel je, na prvim telforima se pričalo kako pokrenuti mobilnu telefoniju i možemo reći na neki način je usmerena sudbina tadašnje kompanije koja se zvala Motel, danas je promijenila ona više puta naziv, kao što znate, danas je Jetel jedna velika, ozbiljna međunarodna kompanija, deo velike grupacije. Danas nam je čast da je sa nama izvršni direktor korporativnih delatnosti u okviru Jetela, gospodin Goran Vasić, i on će pozdraviti skup. Izvolite.
Jeste, Aco, potpuno si u pravu, bila je to stvarno velika dilema, da li ići na NMT ili GSM. Mi smo hteli GSM, ali sankcije i sve komplikacije, nažalost, usmerili su nas tada ka NMT-u. No, brzo je to bilo završeno i već 1996. prešli smo na GSM. Hvala vam svima, pre svega želim da vas pozdravim u ime kompanije Jetel, koja ove godine eto slavi 30 godina poslovanja, znači sa vama smo 30 godina svake godine. Vama pre svega zaista želim da čestitam na dugovečnosti i pre svega na relevantnosti. Ovo je zaista najrelevantniji skup u oblasti telekomunikacija koji se u Srbiji održava. Jetel je kompanija koja jako puno polaže računa na kvalitet svoje mreže, kvalitet svojih usluga i kvalitet i raznovrsnost svojih usluga. U tom smislu, u prethodnih par godina doneli smo dve velike odluke. Prva je da pre svega inoviramo našu infrastrukturu, kako radio deo naše mobilne mreže, tako i core deo naše mobilne mreže, da bi pre svega poboljšali kvalitet naših usluga i naravno pripremili se na tu prvu nadolazeću revoluciju, odnosno da budemo spremni da lansiramo naše 5G usluge onog trenutka kada se steknu svi zakonski uslovi. Sa druge strane, druga velika odluka je bila da inoviramo naš IT stack, odnosno naše BSS sistemi, na taj način stvorili dobru i zdravu tehnološku osnovu za razvoj budućih usluga i servisa baziranih na veštačkoj inteligenciji, koji s jedne strane treba nama da pomognu da možemo mnogo lakše i jednostavnije da poslujemo, a s druge strane da poboljšaju kvalitet i korisničko iskustvo naših usluga. Što se usluga tiče, napomenuću samo par usluga koje su bile veoma značajne za nas u prethodnom periodu. Pre 2 godine lansirali smo našu fiksnu, odnosno Jetel TV, koja objedinjuje usluge optičkog interneta, TV-a i telefonije. Planovi za sada idu kako treba, zadovoljni smo, naša baza raste, jeste tržište poprilično konkurentno i mi kao treći borimo se, ali za sada sve ide u skladu sa našim planovima. S druge strane, u saradnji sa našom Jetel bankom kreirali smo set usluga koji treba da zadovolji potrebe korisnika kako sa finansijske, tako i sa strane telekomunikacionih usluga. I te usluge je tržište primilo pozitivno, tako da se nadamo u budućem intenzivnijoj saradnji sa našom bankom. I naravno digitalizacija od trenutka još kada smo prvi put pustili našu aplikaciju 2011. godine, koja je trebala da omogući korisnicima da plate račune do danas, gde imamo 1,4 miliona aktivnih korisnika koji mogu većinu svojih potreba ka telekomunikacijnim uslugama da zadovolje online. Još jedanput bih samo da napomenem našu spremnost da ulažemo u naš IT stack i da se pripremamo za nadolazeću revoluciju u oblasti veštačke inteligencije, ali bih voleo takođe da napomenem da ne samo da postoji naša želja da se uključimo u tu revoluciju, postoji i naša obaveza da sve usluge koje budemo pružali budu sigurne i bezbedne za naše korisnike. Još jedan put hvala na prilici da vam se obradim. Srećan rad.
Hvala vam puno.
Hvala puno. As already mentioned, it's our special honor and pleasure for us to jointly and in parallel with TELFOR held the international conference Specom. Specom is held in the Baltic region hall on the same floor. On behalf of the Specom conference, our dear friend, Professor Alexei Karpov, will greet the audience. Please.
Yes, dear friends and colleagues, you are welcome to TELFOR forum, and you are welcome to Specom conference as well. I would like to briefly give you some information about Specom conference. Basically, Specom is about speech technology. It is like automatic speech recognition, text-to-speech synthesis, emotion recognition, speaker verification, multimodal interfaces, etc. And this conference was founded 28 years ago. It was founded by the Russian Academy of Sciences, by St. Petersburg Federal Research Center of the Russian Academy of Sciences. And the first conference was in October 1996. First 10 years, it was mainly the Russian conference, organized mainly in St. Petersburg and in Moscow. But last 15 years, it's really international conference, and it was organized in 10 different countries, mainly in European countries like Germany, UK, Hungary, Czech Republic, etc. 2 last years, Specom was in India. Exactly 10 years ago, Specom was in Serbia for the first time. It was in Novi Sad. And we are great to be again in Serbia after 10 years. This year, the conference is organized by the University of Novi Sad, by the University of Belgrade, and the Telekomunikations Society of Serbia. This year, we have 2 general chairs and program committee chairs. The main person of the conference is Professor Vlado Delic, and I'm a co-chair of the conference as well. Some statistics about submissions, about papers. We have 90 valid submissions this year, and we have accepted 53 submissions after a rigorous reviewing process. So the acceptance rate is just below the 60% for Specom. And we have the most submissions and most of accepted papers are from Russia, then from Germany, Hungary, India, Serbia, also at least 2 submissions from US, Canada, China, Egypt, and 20 more different countries. We have quite interesting scientific program. We will have 2 parallel sessions. It will be nearby on the next room. We will have 1 oral session and in parallel poster session as well. You're welcome to our rooms and posters. We have 2 invited keynote speakers. The first one will give his presentation just after my talk. It's he's Professor Dr. Ivan Kralevsky from Germany, and our second speaker will be a local speaker from the University of Novi Sad, Professor Milan Sichuisky. He will give his talk tomorrow. And the proceedings of Specom conference are already published. They are published by Springer Publisher. We have 2 volumes, and both volumes are now available via the website of Specom conference. You are welcome to download the proceedings. In the end of my brief talk, I would like to thank our sponsors and supporters, We have a sponsor, Science Fund of the Republic of Serbia, also Springer Publisher and the International Speech Communication Association. I have seen Joseph Mariani, founder of ISCA Association here. It's great to meet all people here, and we wish you the fruitful TELFOR forum and Specom conference. Thank you.
Hvala puno. Thank you very much. Kao što ste čuli, dakle, konferencija je otvorena. Ko želi, može da se priključi konferenciji i da prati i te aktivnosti, tako da želi da se ohrabri. Izvolite. Mi u telekomunikacijama smo krenuli od nekih osnovnih servisa, od govora, pa smo onda imali napredak u tim servisima. A danas za ovu ceremoniju otvaranja smo u saradnji sa našom prijateljskom konferencijom izabrali da se vratimo govoru. Govor je sigurno nešto što predstavlja svaku naciju u svom osnovnom korenu. Na osnovu govora mi otkrivamo naše korene, našu istoriju, razumemo bolje šta se dešavalo u istoriji, ko smo i šta smo. Može se reći da je govor u stvari jedan zapis prošlosti. I kad govorimo o tome, ja verujem da svi prisutni iz Srbije su u školi učili o lužičkim Srbima. I verujem da je to svima negde u podsvesti, ali sam takođe siguran da malo šta o tome znamo. Znamo da su negde u Evropi, znamo da imamo neke zajedničke korene, ali ništa više dalje od toga. I danas je divna prilika da saznamo nešto o tom divnom narodu. Danas je sa nama Ivan Kraljevski i sa njim još nekoliko ljudi koji će nam ispričati prezentaciju, odnosno predstaviti govor lužičkih Srba. Verujem da će vam to biti interesantno, saznaćemo nešto novo o nama samima, o našim vezama i ja ne bih dalje širio, zamolio bih kolegu Ivana Kraljevskog da dođe i da nam održi prezentaciju pod nazivom Preserving Language Heritage.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear organizers, thank you for the invitation and the introduction of our work here. So we will be presenting a presentation which is the first part of the keynote lecture. It's called Preserving Language Heritage Through Speech Technologies, the case of Upper Serbian. But in the first part we will be more, let's say, focused on in general on Serbian people. May I have the, thank you. So let me introduce myself first. I'm Ivan Kraljevski, research associate at Fraunhofer Institute for Ceramic Technologies and Systems in Dresden, Germany. So someone would wonder why ceramics and what ceramic has to do with speech, but I can explain this later in the second part. Yeah. So my other colleagues are Professor Chop and Dr. Dukhorn. My friend and colleague Daniel Sobe is the representative from the Foundation of the Serbian People in Bautzen, Germany, and we are closely cooperating with the chair of the communication technologies at the Brandenburg University of Technology, where the head is the Professor Matthias Wolf. So who are the Serbian people? I cannot give the answer. The best person here is my colleague Daniel, Serbian himself, and he can explain what we are seeing here and give some insight in the Serbian culture and people. So I will. Yeah.
So right here you see some nice impressions. We start on the left. This is a procession on Easter Sunday. People on horses, they are bringing the news of the resurrection of Jesus from one village to the other. So it's an annual procession with, I think, 10 villages attending. Next you see something pretty ordinary, it's just a sign.
So, but it's a bilingual sign, and whenever you go through Germany and you see two languages, you know you are in the Sorbian area. And this is actually even a pretty new sign, because finally we even got the same size of font. Next one is traditional clothing, and you can easily tell by the way of the decoration of the head from which region this is, and this is from Lower Lusatia, Spree forest. Okay, and the last picture is the so-called capital of the Sorbians, the Upper Sorbians. This is the capital of Bautzen. So whenever you come to visit Bautzen, you will not just see a very old town, but you can also see not just signs like that, but also every street is labeled in two languages. So you will experience the Sorbian spirit there. So a little bit of history, where the Sorbians came from and where we're living today. In the video you will have Lower Sorbian audio, and we added English subtitles for you to understand.
Već 2014 času teke tovarišnostne sviženja analogii łužiských Serbów biegu leta peše nimske připoznate ako imaterialne kulturne derbstvo. Ale to su popšałem Serby, čo su žive, a co ucenio ich kulturne derbstvo tak wesebne. Serby, nimske rece Sorben, abo Wenden pomienione, bydle žinca za větše part Sakskiej a Bramborskiej Łužice. Ako pedviacorno-spowianskie sedlarie a sedlarki su přišli za cas tak pomienionego šegania ludo ranego srežowieka do tego regiona. Więcej ako 1000 lat su miastem ożywe. Intensywne umienie a z wielorakimi przeszegami k swoim niemskim, czeskim a polskim susedam. Mnogie z nich biedają serski. K serskim zwierzeniam a nabogam słyszają szakorake regionalne specyfiskie tradycje, na przykład taszkowa swajszba, samprowanie za pustojskim casu, jaczone rejtowanie, stajanie a puszczanie majskiego boma, albo ogled żiszetka godonym casu. K mnogim tym geszpam nosy zwierzeniarie trastwu, kotrażio wedwisujące wet regiona a geszpę szakoraka. Dajo jadnoru żiewańsku trastwu, ale takie z wiele procu ugeltowanu zwierzęsku trastwu. Oblekarki, szlodarki a szlodarje su ekspertki a eksperty za to, jak dokładnie jednotliwe ziele trastwy se zgotują a nosy.
So here you see some more details about the region. We probably haven't mentioned it before, so there's not just one Sorbian people. We are divided, no, not divided, but there's Upper and Lower Sorbian. So you have the center of the Upper Sorbians, like I mentioned, in Bautzen, Budyšin, and you will find Lower Sorbians around the area of Cottbus, Kočebus. So when you see the big map of Germany and when the small green dot, you might immediately ask yourself, well, how many are there of us? So currently we assume that we have 40,000 Upper Sorbian people, also people who identify as Upper Sorbian, and between 15 and 20,000 are actively speaking the language. It looks a little worse for Lower Sorbian, where we assume 20,000 people who identify and 5 to 10,000 people to actually speak the language. So in order to experience how the language is spoken in everyday life, you have to go to central areas, so it's not spoken anywhere in the green circle anymore. So this is the more boring part.
I mean, Sorbian languages are distinctive Slavic languages, but they have also very distinctive features which make the development of speech technologies in Upper Sorbian a nightmare. Not Upper Sorbian, Sorbian languages as well. They have consonant clusters, they have palatalization, they have distinctive vowel sounds which are only appearing in the Sorbian languages, reduction in Lower Sorbian, and the reduction of the length in Upper Sorbian. Then they have the dual number. The dual is specific feature of Slavic languages, which originates, I think, from the Old Slavonic language, now only appearing in Slovenian language and some Croatian dialect. And then we can see here on the table the inflectional complexity of the Sorbian languages. So this is the the name of the city of Belgrade in Upper Sorbian, which is declinated in more than 20 different, around 20 different word forms. That makes the, as I said, Sorbian languages distinctive Slavic languages, and development of speech technologies a little bit more challenging. There are other features. Then we have German borrowings, because the Sorbian people live among the German population. They adopted the German names, and they even applied these inflectional rules on the German names, which is, again, making the things even more difficult. And you see on the map the dialectal variations of the Sorbian languages. So all those red lines are borders between different dialects there. So even for, let's say, a small population of native speakers, you have a large dialectal variety in this case. The writing system is Latin. They have specific graphemes. Those graphemes with the diacritics, I think, Daniel, you can pronounce them maybe.
Yeah, that's ch, sh, j, j, o, and sh again. It's just written differently. The lower Sorbians, don't count on me. You have ch and j as digraphs, and although we could improvise and do a different representation of a Q and V and X, sometimes they're also used. So you could exchange them for other.
Yeah, here is a text, exact the same text in Upper and Lower Sorbian. You can maybe explain roughly what is about is going on in the text. The marked words are the different words which are appearing in the related languages, but you can see here even visually that there are huge differences in this case.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't sound that different, but if you just see it in writing, it looks very different.
So this was one of our efforts in the preserving language heritage through speech technology. We developed a system for automatic transcription, which was applied on the transcribing the church services, Sunday church services in Upper Sorbian. They were broadcasted over YouTube and subtitled in real time. And we can see now one example. We will see a video of 1 minute part of the church services, which was then transcribed in real time. So.
We do have people who, for instance, they can't make it each week into church, so they like to view it from home.
Svoja svятого sčinja po Marku. Jezus so naprzeczo woponiki pokładni posydnywszy přiladowaše, jak ludzie peneze do pokładne mietaja. No ze bohaci dachu wiele. Przyjdzie też kuda wudowa a położy 2 peneszkaj, to jest 4 groszika. Tu zawołał on swoich uczomników k sobie a rekne im, zawierno praju wam, dale kuda wudowa je dała wiace hačice, ki so nešto do pokładne cisnili. Przetoż wszyscy są od toho dali, štož maja wyše. Ona pak je oprowała ze swojego niedostatka šo, štož mieješe, šo swoje zamożenie. Ewangelii naszego knieza zbożnika Jezusa Chrystusa.
Finish my last sentence. Then you also have people who are hearing impaired, and if they watch from home, they tune the TV up to maximum, and we hope that one day via subtitling we can relieve them from it so they can actually read the subtitles.
So that is the Sorbian translator.
Second part, so right before that we have seen recognition. We also have a text translator since 2021. It's online. It's very heavily used, so you might wonder why, because we can speak and write in Sorbian. But one nice thing is this is available to everybody. So even in mixed conversations, when we're writing to Germans, we can keep writing in Sorbian because they can use the translator. So we can keep our language. So combining those two into one thing, we tried first in this year's Europeada. This is a football game from all European minorities. I think the 26 participated this year. And what we tried is to see if we use the speech recognition first and then the text translation just as they are, whether we can have the moderator being at least partially understood even by Germans watching the football game. So let's see an excerpt.
Stano 6, abo 7, to było jara zasłużone. Všako synko tyž potneme terie rune přečivo severnej šlesvigské, zo je pověto pomalu trošku von. To sú netko jara veľa rov byli v tých posledných 5 dniach. A netko ešte raz taký nocný přečeník, kaj laričanky neč.
Okay,
Shall I go back?
No, I lost the track. So we found that by just simply combining the two systems, the quality is not good because mistakes will multiply. So word which wasn't perfectly recognized in Upper Sorbian gets totally destroyed by the wrong translation then.
So the next is speech synthesis in upper. Speech synthesis in upper and lower Sorbian. The foundation and the Sorbian Institute, they developed together the speech synthesis based on Meri TTS, and we can give two examples here. One in upper Sorbian and one in lower Sorbian using the Meri TTS, and then one example in upper Sorbian using the newer neural network-based speech synthesis system. So let's try to hear them. The first one is upper Sorbian.
Witajcie svečane synteze.
So the next one is lower Sorbian, Meri TTS.
Witajcie svečane synteze.
And then the latest one using the neural networks.
Witajcie svečane synteze.
You can see the difference in the quality. Both of those are online available on the given links there, and then now we can check if there are some similarities or differences of those two languages with Serbian. I have to tell a small anecdote because when we thought about this example, then I said, okay, I'm not native Sorbian speaker, I'm native Serbian speaker, and he is a Sorbian speaker, and how to get the best matching sentences, and actually came to the idea to ask the ChatGTP. So the ChatGTP provided me those examples, this list of sentences, and for me it looks very plausible, it looks very okay. The English one, the Serbian one, they were fine, but then Daniel said that each sentence of the lower Sorbian and upper Sorbian was completely wrong. So we had to rework the table now. I will play some examples here again, first upper Sorbian, lower Sorbian, and then the Serbian at the end, so you can hear the differences. On the top, there are the used technologies, the Bamburak neural network TTS, the Meri TTS, and for the Serbian, we got the examples from the company Alpha Num. And let's play some of them.
Witaj, kak se tebi dže?
That's the first row.
Vita, kak se šižo?
Dobar dan, kako si?
So, it's a little bit different.
Moja mać je doma.
Moja mama je doma.
Moja mama je kod kuće.
Može ci pomać?
Mogu ci pomagaš?
Mogu li ti pomoći?
Ja mam jednu rodzinu kvile.
Mam jednu godinu uhylje.
Imam vremena 1 sat.
So the languages are different. There is a different development of those languages through the history. But yeah, we have similar words, many of them. We can even understand some simple everyday use sentences. And we will give the next presentation later, the second part of this presentation of this invited lecture. We will give more technical insights in the technologies we presented here. So the second part will be from 14 o'clock until 14:30, and you're all invited to be there, and I hope I will give more answers, and the presentation will be interesting for all of you. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, really. It was really very nice. Thank you. Sad je vreme za nagrade. Prva nagrada je nagrada Đorđe Paunović za najbolji rad. Kao što znate, u znak sećanja i poštovanja na delo profesora doktora Đorđa Paunovića, prvog i dugogodišnjeg predsjednika Upravnog odbora TELFOR-a, Upravni odbor i programski odbor TELFOR-a su ustanovili nagradu pod njegovim imenom, profesor Đorđe Paunović. Rad se dodeljuje za najbolji rad na TELFOR-u koji je prezentovan prošle godine. Ove godine nagradu za najbolji rad na TELFOR-u 2023. godine dodeljujemo kolegama Mihajlu Ogrizoviću, Aleksi Iliću, Dražanu Draškoviću i Milošu Cvetanoviću za rad An Immersive Platform for Three-Dimensional Virtual Events. Ja bih pozvao dobitnike da... Hvala. Evo, nagradu će... Aha. Molim vas za jedan veliki aplauz, jer su oni to zaista zaslužili. Druga prestižna nagrada, koja je ustanovljena već ima 17 godina, to je nagrada Blažo Mirčevski za najbolji rad mladog autora. Ovu nagradu je predložila porodica Mirčevski, a Upravni i programski odbor TELFOR-a su prihvatili i ustanovili nagradu Blažo Mirčevski za najbolji rad mladog autora u znak sećanja i poštovanja stručnog i naučnog dela Blaža Mirčevskog, diplomiranog inženjera elektrotehnike. Ove godine žiri je dodelio nagradu najboljem mladom autoru Pavlu Petroviću za njegov rad Aircraft Detection Range for HF Radar. Prestižnu nagradu Blažo Mirčevski uručit će koleginica Julijana Mirčevski i Nataša Nešta. Zamolit ćemo i koleginicu Julijanu Mirčevski da vam se obrati. Izvolite.
Dear TELFOR people, I am Julijana Mirčevski, and I am here to tell you that the Blažo Mirčevski Award will no longer be given. I thank all people, because me and front of me, because you all contribute to this award surviving and maintaining criterion. I owe particular gratitude to the late Professor Đorđe Paunović and present here, Professor Ljiljana Milić. My dear Lilja, thank you very much. For the past 18 years, you have been my life teacher. I want to believe that the Blažo Mirčevski Award winners are a positive result of our telecommunications forum. Here, they are all winners in the photos, although they are much more than faces in pictures. All Blažo Mirčevski Award winners are exceptional. From the first, Vladimir Orlić, to the last, Pavle Petrović, they are excellent professionals in their fields of modern technology, and also people in high integrity and impeccable character. Some of them have also become parents. Several winners were foreigners who participated in the TELFOR conference with their research papers. Thank them for participation. We have winners from Germany, Italy, Österreich, Poland, Ethiopia, and Turkey. Some awardees come from regional countries, Macedonia, Bosnia, and Montenegro. The winners who originate from Serbia are now professors at Serbian universities and work in Serbian companies, and also at foreign universities and foreign companies. Now, almost all the awardees have taken the academic degree of PhD. They are much more valuable than I can express in my words. I wish TELFOR continued success in work. Thank you.
Kao što ste čuli, nažalost, posle 17 godina ovo je posljednji put da se dodeljuje nagrada Blažo Mirčevski. Ono što ja želim da naglasim, i to treba reći, da je glavni nosilac svih ovih aktivnosti bila Julijana Mirčevski, koja nam je svima pokazala kako se istrajnim radom, energičnošću, preciznosti u stvari pristupa svakom profesionalnom poslu. Ona nam je bila inspirator da i mi budemo bolji na konferenciji, iako se ona bavila isključivo ovom nagradom, ali je nama pokazala kako treba raditi. Ja joj se ovom prilikom zaista zahvaljujem i molim za još jedan veliki aplauz. Međutim, ovo nije kraj. Na krilima nagrade Blažo Mirčevski narednih godina je napravljen dogovor u saradnji sa registrom nacionalnog internet domena Srbije RNIC-om, da se ustanovi nagrada RNIC-ova nagrada za najbolji rad mladog autora, koji će praktično slediti ista pravila koja je postavila Julijana u saglasnosti sa programskim i upravnim odborom TELFOR-a davnih godina, i na taj način ćemo sačuvati tradiciju i nadam se i siguran sam da se nećemo ubrukati pred porodicom Mirčevski i da će ova jedna lepa tradicija, koja je, naročito kad govorimo o nagradama, ona znači najviše mladim ljudima, jer to je podstrek za budući rad. Lepo je što i stariji dobiju nagrade, dakle to je nekako priznanje, ali čini mi se da mladima to još više znači. Tako da imat ćemo ovu nagradu na vašim postavkama i narednih godina. Kao što znate, TELFOR ne bi bio ono što jeste da nema ljudi koji ovde zaista vredno rade, često neki od njih i ne vidite. I mi smo ove godine odlučili da dodelimo zahvalnice nekim našim najzaslužnijim članovima, koji su nesebično radili svih ovih godina na razvoju TELFOR-a, i ove godine ta čast je pripala njima 4 i ja ću ih sad pročitati. Tu je profesorka Ljiljana Milić, koja je od prvog Telfora bila tu, koja je dala postavke u organizaciji. Izvolite. Nagradu će uručiti profesorka Nešković. Draga profesorka, puno vam hvala. Zahvalnicu ove godine će poneti i gospođa Julijana Mirčevski. Nju sam već nahvalio. Imamo još dvojicu muških kolega koji nažalost nisu mogli danas da budu sa nama. Njima ćemo zahvalnice uručiti posebnom prilikom. To je profesor Dušan Drajić, koji je tu bio aktivan naravno od samog početka. I kolega Ivan Nador, koji se bavio izložbama i koji je godinama bio motorna snaga. On se preselio, živi na Mitrovcu na Tari i morat ćemo da idemo tamo da mu damo nagradu. Ok, sad imamo još jednu prezentaciju po pozivu. I will move to English. While we in Serbia are impatiently, even longingly are waiting for 5G, the world is moving on. 6G is developing very fast. Here is an opportunity to hear something about that. With us today is Dr. Konstantinos Manolakis from Nokia, and he will present a very interesting topic, 6G opportunities on the paradigm of sensing and artificial intelligence. We are waiting to hear you. Please.
Hello. Thank you very much for the invite and for the opportunity to be here today and to present even in the main session, in the introduction session. Thank you very much, very honored. It's my second time in TELFOR. I was here 2 years ago, and happy also to discuss with a local ecosystem and to see the progress and how this industry is moving forwards. Today, 2 years ago, it was 5G advanced. Today it's 6G. So the interest is and the focus is not only in research but also in standards. Is a lot about 6G. Today I will give you an insight into the opportunities and two selected technologies, what we call sensing, you may have heard about it, and also AI, artificial intelligence, and how we from Nokia and from the industry see the benefits and the opportunities for the customers, for the CSPs. So, maybe before starting, a few words about myself. I'm from what we call strategy and technology part of Nokia. So this is where the longer term planning and prioritization and research and standardization takes place. I'm based in Munich, and my official job is a program manager. I'm managing the 6G programs on standards in Nokia. So, some questions that are typically considered when we talk about 6G is we see that the world is moving and that things will move more in the second decade of where we are now, so the second half of the decade actually, what we call the digital acceleration, and also what will be the difference and how telecom industry will manage to serve these key trends, as they call them, in this acceleration. Sensing is seen as a key technology as part of this, and the key new network capability. So the question is, what are the benefits and how can the mobile operators also benefit from this new technology, and how can it be monetized, and also what is the role of AI, because we hear a lot about AI, but I will focus a little bit more on how it serves and how it makes an excellent match with sensing. So a little bit of where we are, what we see as the 6G era, and this is not only Nokia's vision, but this is also somehow resonating with the full ecosystem, in my opinion. We see that 6G will be the technology to bring together what we call the physical world, the world we live in, but also the digital and the human. Bringing those together, interact more seamlessly, and of course, as part of this digital world, sensing will play a key role because of the capability to build what we call the digital twin. So the digital image of a physical world. AI, of course, with its capability to process data, to extract information, to create even, is a key technology to make this happen. So what is, first of all, this sensing? Because sensing as such is not new. We know radars, we even have cameras in the broader definition of sensing, which sense the environment. We have temperature sensors and all things. Integrated sensing is, if I may summarize in one sentence, we bring the functionality of a radar into the communication system, into the network. What you can see here on the screen, these are two nodes. So, is this? Yeah. So these ones, these are normal base stations, radio access. But as you see, they are called ISAC, Integrated Sensing and Communications, meaning they transmit data, but they also sense at the same time. Of course, there can be also regular sensing-only access points, and everything is connected through a strong intelligence, where AI is. So the difference between positioning, which we already know in 5G and 5G Advanced, is that sensing can also see passive objects. So not users, but also people, cars, walls, so not connected to the network. This is a brand new capability for the network, but why is it good? Yeah. And before going to this, maybe to clarify a little bit the difference between the sensing and the radar, but what the integration is about. So the integration is not black and white, there are different levels of integration, meaning the communication system and the sensing system, they can share starting from the sites, meaning electricity, supply, and so on, infrastructure, but then going more ambitious to share hardware components, like, for example, the RF parts, radio frequency parts, sharing the same spectrum, and this is actually a big sharing step, because this is licensed spectrum, even sharing the waveform, and the highest level of integration is to share to use the actual signal that is transmitting the data, and to use the reflection of this to create and to enable the radar function. And of course, the more we integrate, the higher the integration level, the more the benefit, the potential benefit, but also the complexity increases. And of course, there are trade-offs between what is the desired or what is the level of integration we would like to see also in 6G, but more general. Having explained this, also you can see an example of how a sensing picture looks like. So it's quite accurate in some cases. We made a study in Nokia Strategy and Technology to identify what we call the domains of benefit. So what are the landing zones where sensing can bring benefit? And the first one is actually the fact that the network is turned into a sensor. It's a new capability that the 6G system will have. And there is also the benefit because a normal radar has a narrow bandwidth and can maybe see some things like when you park your car, you see when the car in front of you is close or far. But the fact that in telecom we have massive antenna arrays, huge number of antennas, and a huge bandwidth, these are the two elements that allow us to have a very high resolution. In other words, our systems, the 5G and the 6G systems, are super radars, if I may say in this sense. The integration now into this system provides also cost benefits because no need to have two different systems, two dedicated ones, but also scale benefits. And it is also enabling very, very promising use cases. One example only is what we call the low altitude economy, the drones. A second domain of benefits, which is the number 2, is the fact that all this is data, information. So the data, we also recognize the trend that networks are turning into platforms. Platforms where through APIs, for example, monetization, but also exposure of information to third parties can be done, like position or demand of quality of service. So this is a way to monetize and to also provide information beyond only data pipe. As part of this trend, sensing provides a lot of meaningful data, like information, context, which can be seen as a dedicated domain of benefits. Number 3 is the actual product. Goes without saying, knowing the environment allows to, for example, steer beams more accurately or predict the handover or make the own product more efficient. Having now those 3 domains of benefit identified, my idea for today is number 2. Especially explain how can this be monetized, how can this be seen as an opportunity, and why do we need AI for this at the end? So, but before going there, 3GPP, the standardization body, has already identified a list of use cases, a long list of use cases, a wish list, we can call it, of things that sensing could do. Great, and these are organized in some categories. So what we made is a techno-economical assessment of what we believe are the most promising ones. And you can see I've summarized them on a very high level here. We have the factory IoT use cases, meaning the indoor enterprise robotics navigation indoor, where GNSS GPS is not available. We have the drones, which is a family of use cases I already mentioned with the low altitude economy, which is seen as very promising and also related to safety. Traffic sensing, this is not autonomous driving. This is more about finding a parking slot or finding even a restaurant, or this also, again, there is a synergy with positioning here in this group of use cases. Number 4 is the automotive, in the sense of autonomous and navigation and driving. Of course, there is a challenge here because there is a dependency on the actual automotive and car-to-car communication, because if you don't have the car-to-car communication, then there is no benefit to integrate into something that is not there yet. So there is a clear dependency on other markets. And number 5 is the intrusion detection, to detect if some object enters without permission to an area. So these are the 5 use cases where they see most of the value, and these are new, or they build upon existing ones. And of course, this is an opportunity basis to monetize and to expose and to also offer those use cases in the 6G system. This is a little bit more detail. I already mentioned we did a techno-economical analysis, meaning we saw not only the technical benefit, but also the market and the business aspect. Business in the sense whether there's a business case, market in the sense whether there are already other established technologies like Wi-Fi. So 6G is not the only system that senses. Having those 6 KPIs defined and in mind, this is just one example of a spider graph, and we did this for every single use case. This is how we came up with those 6 categories where we see the top value, and they are listed again here. Of course, nothing for free. Yeah? Spectrum is one requirement. And yes, I'm aware that the discussions are still ongoing in Serbia about 5G, and now we come and say we need more spectrum for 6G, but from a technical point of view, the more spectrum, there is a bound how good you can go with a certain spectrum. So if you want to go more, if a certain use case needs more accuracy, you need more spectrum or more antennas. We did a study, and most of those use cases require more than 100 megahertz, which is, I know, not available everywhere yet, but at least it's part of the World Radio Conference discussion, so it's part of what 6G will have to offer. But it's still good to acknowledge and to say that, yes, this is needed. And what is also needed is coverage. Ideally, line of sight, or even proper coverage. And then thinking, okay, where can we find those requirements? So what are the frequency bands? We have FR1, so the lower band where we have good coverage, but not really so much spectrum. Then there is FR2, which is not really there, but there is a lot of spectrum, so there's not good coverage. And there is also this FR3, although this term is not yet official, which is the band that is being discussed for 6G. They call it also golden band, where we can find sufficient spectrum and good coverage. So this could be one good candidate, but as I said, this is more a requirement rather than something we have. So to summarize a little bit about this part, we see good use cases in the enterprise domain, but also for the CSPs. And yes, there is requirement on spectrum and good coverage in the network. How can this be now monetized? So what is the way, what is the model? What we show here on this slide is how things should, in my opinion, not happen. So a lot of sensors, you see the gray, sensing something, reporting to some application over the top, meaning using the mobile network operator as an internet connection, and this goes to some third-party monetization platform, which this is actually the green color here, but it's not the blue. And Google, Amazon, I don't know, third-party company making money on top of the network, as we already experience this today. So it's actually the integration of the sensing that will bring the CSP into the foreground into the middle of the business model and make the CSP the key stakeholder in this model. So by integrating, now you see, it's not sensing, it's ISAC, integrated sensing. And if the integration happens over the CSP spectrum, then of course automatically we have data ownership. So it's the data belongs to the CSP, mobile operator. It needs to be processed. It needs to be, with the help of AI, the information needs to be extracted and then over a platform monetized. The platform can be still a third-party platform, the different models and different shades of gray here. And this brings actually to the next implementation where you see the blue color, meaning it's the platform, the API monetization platform of the mobile operator, meaning the business, the use cases are enabled and the interfacing to third parties, to the outside world, is going through the network of the mobile operator. And this is where the opportunity is maximized, in our opinion, and this is why we see this as an opportunity. To summarize again, it's the requirement of a spectrum that makes automatically the mobile operator to the owner of the data, but this does not mean that if it's another spectrum, the mobile operator cannot participate. But of course, it's the one way, it's automatically, in the other way, it's also other options to be considered. Now, having showed a little bit how this can be monetized, then back to the initial slide, but how does AI fit in this and why does it fit? This picture is not only about AI, this shows all or the key technology elements in the 4 different domains we typically see in the standard. So it's a device, it's the radio access, the core, and the orchestration and management domain. And I try to highlight the sensing, so where it is. And you can see that the sensing, together with the positioning, is requiring synergies between at least 2 domains. Actually, it's even 3. Message here, sensing is a cross-domain family of use cases. Because, why the core, would you ask? Because the so-called sensing management function, the intelligence will be in the core, or could be in the core. Device, why device? Because the device could be a sensor itself. And if the device senses, then of course it needs to report measurements to the radio access network. The radio access network needs to give commands. There's an air interface, there's even standardization needed. So this is where the requirements come. And of course this doesn't mean that this is just normal. Of course it needs to be standardized to some extent, at least the interfaces, and what happens where and by whom. So sensing is a cross-domain 6G use case, and yes, the AI enablers for sensing are spread around. Now, a little bit more detail, but you don't have to read. This is underlining some key technology enablers like the APIs to collect this information, or even the 2-side model training. Again, showing a little bit more detail of what is it that the device, the RAM, the core, and the orchestration management function have to do from an AI perspective now to enable sensing. So there is some things that, of course, need to, when AI role is needed, and this is actually that's something that without AI, I would say it's difficult to really implement sensing successfully. And there can be more, of course, than those. These are just examples. What are we doing in standards thing? We also, in my role as a Nokia standardization, so we are, of course, working, doing research heavily in this domain and trying to shape the standards. 3GPP introduced for the first time AI in 5G, some little things on the air interface and in the network automation, then 5G Advanced came where we saw a little bit of AI on the air interface between the device and the radio access. We, Nokia, also focus a lot on this, and maybe worth to mention in Oulu, in the north of Finland, we have the so-called House of Radio. It's a huge Nokia investment that is almost finished. And we're together with University of Oulu mainly, but also the other Finnish universities, there are more than 1,000 researchers working on those massive MIMO technologies, AI, and the most important is that everything is also shown there. There are many POCs, proof of concepts, demos, and there's a big, also prominent events happen there. So it's a big activity where we in Nokia really look and investigate AI deeper, and also sensing. There are sensing demos, for example, there. 6G, there will be more AI in 6G, yes, no surprise, in all domains. So it looks like 3GPP is going to the right direction to include more AI, to standardize what is needed and not more than this, but also not less. And this brings me also to the summary, and I hope we will have some opportunity for some questions, hopefully. So overall, ISAC, it looks like it will be part of 6G, what we call day one, meaning a first commercialization around 2030. I say looks like because in 3GPP it really gets strong support, so many companies are pushing for it. Of course, this will be decided in March. There is a milestone, a workshop, so looks like. It's an evolution of 5G advanced positioning, so there will be no more positioning, it will be sensing from now on. The integration into communication, as I mentioned, is what brings the benefits. So don't let the opportunity to be taken by others, I would say, the mobile operators, but jump on it from the first generation of 6G. Ensure the role as key stakeholder, and this can reduce costs, this can enable new use cases, this can be a monetization opportunity, create new revenues. It's a cross-domain use case, yes, it needs a lot of AI, but this is what 3GPP is taking care, and also the vendors. And overall, I would say this is a promising technology, yeah, if I can summarize, and we will see this hopefully here in the outside around 6 to 7 years from now, if everything goes by the plan. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hvala vam puno. Maybe some questions? Okay, no problem. We can find Dr. Manolakis in front of this hall and ask whatever you want to discuss with him, the new technology. He's quite open for that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I polako se bližimo kraju. Pozivam vas da učestvujete i u svim drugim aktivnostima TELFOR-a koje smo pripremili za vas. Htio bih da vam posebno obratim pažnju, pošto nije deo ovog prostora integralno, ispred ulaza imate jedan veliki demo kamion kompanije Huawei sa najnovijim rješenjima iz oblasti mobilnih komunikacija. Oni bi bili vrlo sretni da ih obiđete, da vidite šta to ima novo i kakve nas lepi stvari čekaju u budućnosti. Pored toga imamo jako bogat program kompanijskih predavanja, svi veliki vendori su tu, operatori. Imamo jako interesantan ove godine i bogat naučni program, tako da budite slobodni danas i sutra, uživajte i naravno popijte kafu sa nekim vama dragim kolegom. Ono što nam predstoji, naravno već smo dosta dugo ovde, sledeći po rasporedu je koktel, ali bih ja zamolio pre koktela profesora Delića da vas pozdravi na jedan specifičan način. Izvolite, profesori.
Poštovane dame i gospodo, dragi prijatelji, samo ću vas kratko pozdraviti na hrvatskom jeziku, a pomoću ovih džepnih prevoditelja prevoditi ću na engleski i ruski.
Уважаемые дамы и господа, дорогие друзья, я только коротко поприветствую вас на хорватском языке и с помощью этих карманных переводчиков переведу на английский и русский языки. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I will only greet you briefly in Croatian, and with the help of these pocket translators, I will translate into English and Russian.
Why in Croatian? Why not in Serbian? Because this device from China can translate speech in 60 languages, including Croatian, but only speech to text. We need support from the Serbian government to complete our cooperation with the company iFlytek to integrate speech to text and text to speech for Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian and Montenegrin before the World Expo in Serbia. Želim vam uspešnu konferencije i ugodan boravak u Beogradu.
I wish you a successful conference
conference and a pleasant stay in Belgrade.
Желаю вам успешного проведения конференции TELFOR и Specom и приятного пребывания в Белграде.
I sad je definitivno kraj ove ceremonije otvaranja. Družit ćemo se na koktelu. Izvolite.